9th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Congressional Democrats have unveiled a bill to bolster free speech protections in the wake of Charlie Kirk's killing. Senator Chuck Schumer.
One of the great hallmarks of our country is free speech, whether you agree or disagree. And this administration is trying to snuff it out. They don't want people to even speak when they don't like what they say.
Representative Ro Khanna wants FCC Chair Brendan Carr to appear before Congress to explain his role in the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's show. He said the administration is making comedy illegal. Jennifer Kuiper reports.
David Letterman, during a sit-down with Jeffrey Goldberg at the Atlantic Festival, didn't hold back when the topic of the Jimmy Kimmel Live show being preempted indefinitely by Disney's ABC came up.
It's silly, it's ridiculous, and you can't go around firing somebody because you're fearful or trying to suck up to an authoritarian criminal administration in the Oval Office. That's just not how this works.
Letterman calls it managed media. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's new Vaccine Advisory Committee has begun its two-day meeting. It is expected to release its recommendations on the COVID-19 vaccine tomorrow. CBS's Mark Strassman is there.
The more steps, the more impediments you put in the way between the consumer and the dose of whatever vaccine the consumer is potentially interested in, the less likely it is for the consumer to get that. So that is really what's at stake here, is whether the consumer is still going to have the option to get the vaccine as easily as he or she has in years past.
President Trump is heading back to the U.S. from Britain. Before leaving, he held a news conference with Prime Minister Keir Starmer and was asked about sanctions on Russia. He insisted European countries must first stop purchasing its oil.
I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle.
And he said he wants the Taliban to return a massive air base in Afghanistan that the U.S. evacuated during the withdrawal.
It's one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back.
Trump suggested U.S. troops could return to Bagram because of its proximity to China. It's unclear if the U.S. has had any direct or indirect conversations with the Taliban government. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. The Dow was up 124 points. The Nasdaq up more than 200. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
Coming up, a military helicopter goes down near JBLM. We have a report live near that scene. But first to the traffic desk, and the map is actually looking very good right now. Between Tacoma and Olympia, you do have some slowdowns right around JBLM. That's about a 45-minute drive. Linwood to Seattle taking you about 47 minutes. You do hit the brake lights at the University District. Bellevue to Renton in good shape, under 30 minutes there. Renton to Puyallup, then 50 minutes, a little slow through Kent. And then once you reach Auburn and Highway 18. Up north into Everett, about a 45 to 50-minute drive between from Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A military helicopter crashes near Joint Base Lewis McChord. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch joins us live near that scene. James.
Aaron, the crash happened about 9:30 last night in a heavily wooded hills above Summit Lake. That's about 20 miles west of Olympia. Now, the Thurston County Sheriff's Department was the first responder and says it was indeed a helicopter from JBLM that went down, but deputies couldn't get close to the wreckage because of heat from the fire. Kevin Harris lives nearby.
They fly over the Summit Lake probably 2 times a week, and there are usually 2 to 4 of them.
Now, we don't know what caused the crash, how many people were on board, or whether there were any survivors. A JBLM spokesperson says it could be Monday before more information is released. In Thurston County, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
All right, thank you, James. Any current law enforcement officer in our states will get a $40,000 signing bonus if they join the King County Sheriff's Office. The office says it's part of a new recruiting plan as it works to fill 95 vacancies. Lateral hires from out of state will get a $25,000 signing bonus. Washington's Attorney General says he is suing the owner of 4 bikini barista stands. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has more.
Nick Brown says Jonathan Tagle demanded sexual acts from workers in order to get hired and to stay employed. Tagle, who runs Paradise Espresso in King and Snohomish counties, is also accused of wage theft and retaliation.
And we have reached out to Tagle for comments. The Mariners are on their way to Houston with major playoff implications at stake. The M's are now tied for first place with the Astros after Seattle beats the Kansas City Royals today.
Munoz strikes out the side. Mariners win it this afternoon 2-0, and they move into a first-place tie with the Houston Astros.
Mariners begin that 3-game series with Houston tomorrow night's first pitch at 5:10. Weather forecast now brought to you by State Roofing. And exteriors, calm conditions today, mostly sunny with highs in the low 70s. Same for tomorrow. Right now looking at 71 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Jake Skorheim here, Spike O'Neill there. We're very excited. We've been talking a lot about the Washington State Ferry system lately, and
it's always on time. The boats are always waiting for you, fully staffed, never miss a run. That's why we talk about it.
You can set your clock by it. That's what they say. That's their official motto. You can set your watch by us.
We kid.
Obviously, we kid. No, we're very happy because we wanted to reach out to Washington State Senator Marco Lias. He represents the 21st District, which includes Edmonds all the way to Mukilteo, and he has agreed to join us on the show. Marco, thank you so much for making the time.
Good to be with you, and I hear Spike's a constituent. So
I am a constituent. I want to say really quickly, though, I did vote for you, but I voted for you because I thought your name was Mark O'Lias. I thought you were Irish.
On St. Patrick's Day it is.
I don't regret my vote, though. I think you do fine work, and I love the Mariner Green choice today. Well done, my friend.
He's nice, too, because he joined us. He's out of town. He still made the time for us, which is very nice.
Appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it. Senator Lias, we've been talking recently about the Washington State ferry system, and so we asked Laura to reach out and see if you'd come on with us, and we were just interested in talking with somebody in the local government who can help us understand some of these costs are going very high. And recently we were talking about the Wenatchee, which is the first of 3 boats that's supposed to be converted to hybrid electric. The original cost for all 3 was supposed to be in the $120 million range, and just the Wenatchee is already north of $130 million. And last I checked, is not in service right now because of issues it's having after the conversion.
I think it's about to be back in the water, though. They've made some
tests.
I think they made some test run this week, and it's going to be back soon, I hope.
Right. I think today it may be back.
Which means it'll be out of service by tomorrow.
Stop.
That's a joke. But okay. So here's my question to you: Is there a limit at which people start at which they are no longer allowed to spend more money on these projects? So if they originally tell us $120 million, and just the first boat alone is more than that entire cost for just one boat, is there a point at which we say, hey, you know what? We've spent all our money, like your kids with allowance. You've spent all your money.
Yeah, I mean, we effectively have done that. We've paused the conversion of the Puyallup and the Tacoma because the experience on the Wenatchee has been so tough. So the legislature and the governor said Wenatchee was more complicated than we thought it was going to be. Let's press pause on doing any further conversions of our existing vessels. The challenge with the Wenatchee, and I think part of what's getting lost in the conversation about it, is we did 2 things to the Wenatchee. One is a midlife engine rebuild, which was going to have to be done no matter what. So irrespective of whether we make it hybrid or not, the boats are 30 years old. They need new propulsion systems to make it another 30 years. So that is what is currently causing the problem, is that the new engines that were put in, basically as they've connected them to the old vessel technology. The two have had a tough time communicating, for lack of a better word. So they're working through that. The hybrid costs, those were earlier in the process. They were much higher than we thought, and we've pressed pause on doing any further conversions. But I just want to make sure people know that that's not what's driving the challenges right now. Right now, the problem is we put new engines in old boats, and that is just, it's going to take some time to figure out how to get the two to work. That's not costing us more money. The contractor is responsible for figuring this piece of it out. But your broader point is right. We've got to be really careful before we move forward on any more of these conversions.
So those two boats remaining, if they were to be eventually converted to hybrid, which even if it's paused right now, is the plan still at some time in the future to try to convert those boats?
We haven't made a decision. I think we want to see how the Wenatchee fully plays out, see how it performs after some time in service, how the hybrid engine on these older vessels is working, and then make a decision. We've said after World Cup, we want to keep the jumbos in service through the World Cup. Our largest vessels need to be on the water when we have that surge in demand next summer. And then we'll come back to it, see what the experience has been. Has it generated the benefit we thought it would? And what's the cost going to be to move forward before we make a call on? Now, these are the existing vessels. Our new vessels are going to be hybrid. Those are the three that are being built by Eastern. But when it comes to these older boats and converting them, I think the jury's still out on whether it makes sense.
Can you help me understand on these new boats that are being built? And these are being built in Florida, right? Isn't that the company that won the bid for that?
That's right. Yeah, Eastern is in Florida.
I saw that the contract value was for just a little over $700 million. I think it was like $714. So the cost breakdown, according to King 5, I'm in radio, so I'm not paid to be good at math. So I'm hoping to understand this more. But the initial boat is going to be $405 million. The second boat is going to be $360 million. So right there, that puts us at 765, already over the contract value. And the third boat is scheduled to be $325 million, which puts us north of $1 billion. And the only reason I ask that is I understand that ferries are expensive. And I understand that in a dream case scenario that everybody can have everything they want and we can have the cleanest possible future that everybody wants. But there is a cost to these things. And if the technology is really, really super expensive, and if we're exceeding what we're telling people that it's going to cost, is there a point at which you go, hey, you know what, you just can't have everything you want. You can't have a full fleet of ferries, and they can't be hybrid electric because we can't afford them. So how does that cost break down? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for the new ferries, there's a much different sort of cost equation because we're going to have 50 to 60 years of fuel savings on the new vessels. So that is part of, just like when you buy an electric vehicle, sometimes the upfront cost is more expensive on the electric vehicle, but when you look at the fuel savings across the lifetime, that's where it saves money. These hybrid vessels are in that same place. We expect, depending on weather conditions and all that, between 75 and 90% reduction in fuel usage on them. So diesel costs are unpredictable. They're going up across time. We're going to save a ton of diesel in these new vessels. That's part of what makes it pencil out for us on the new vessels. And adding the hybrid elements, they are not a significant cost driver on the new vessels. We're essentially adding some batteries to vessels that already would have had an electric engine, and already they will still have a diesel power plant on them because the Coast Guard wants redundancy. So to add some batteries, the incremental cost, when you look at the fuel savings across time, it pencils out. That's why on the new vessels, it makes sense to consider them. On the existing vessels, which only have 25 or 30 years of life left, that's where the differential in terms of fuel savings isn't as clear, and the costs have been much higher than we expected. I'm not sure it pencils. That's what we need to look at as we decide on the existing vessels halfway through their life, whether or not to convert them.
Do you think there's any value in reapproaching this idea? And I think Governor Ferguson even took some flack for it from Jay Inslee when he first was elected, or maybe it was in the campaign process. The idea of maybe shifting away from this idea that everything has to be hybrid electric. They are very expensive. I mean, the ones we're talking about right now, for three of them, it's going to be north of $1 billion. You can get, I think the last one that was delivered to Washington State in 2018, the last traditional one, which was diesel powered, was a Squamish. That was about $122 million, again, in 2018 dollars. So take that with a grain of salt. 144 car, diesel powered, $122 million bucks. It's a technology everybody understands. It works. It gets us on the water. Getting some of these more traditionally accepted ways of powering these these vessels so that you can count on them. The problem with the Wenatchee right now is that it's breaking down a bunch, and that puts strain on the whole rest of the fleet. And then people have to wait in line. I'm in these lines. My mother, this is a personal gripe for me, because my mother-in-law lives over in Port Townsend, which means that I have to go sit in the Kingston Ferry line all the time. Now, I love that line.
Yeah, he's not a constituent, but he drives through our neighborhood.
I drive through it all the time. And listen,
you got to stop at Top Pot. Just go to Top Pot.
I was just going to say, the only silver lining is that I get to go to Top Pot.
They're friends.
I'm friends with Jimmy Donuts is what I call him. So I love Top Pot, but I don't love sitting there for many, many hours. And I feel like we're kind of at a crisis point where that's just becoming the norm. I grew up here, and when I was a kid, I would ride these. Every time we had family come in or whatever, my parents went gaga for these ferry boats. So we would ride them all the time. You never sat for more than an hour. And that is just, if you can only sit for an hour now, it's a red letter day.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's the only day. Let me ask you this, to Jake's point, what would the cost of a new diesel boat be today? I was talking about the new electrics we're buying.
150, 160.
Is it equate to that much less?
I mean, the hybrid components are 20 to 25% of the cost. So if you take that, what was it, $400 for the first one, deduct 25% of the cost, it would be about $300 plus to get
just for a diesel.
Diesel. That's right.
But how is that possible? That's more than double the price of what it cost just 6 years ago. You're saying it's more than double?
Unfortunately, yeah. Welcome to the shipbuilding industry in the United States, which has been shrinking. Like, we have to buy from a U.S. shipyard. The cost of the raw materials have gone up. The cost of the labor has gone up. Like, this is the challenge that we're facing in transportation broadly. Like, in heavy construction from 2020 to 2024, we saw costs go up 75% in road construction. Ferries have been similar. So that's the challenge, is we have to custom build these vessels. Unfortunately, there's no ferry dealership where we can go and kind of dicker the price. We have to get them custom built for us. And that means that, they're kind of a bespoke product where they're building it just for us. And that is where we're sort of dependent. If we could, BC Ferries, our neighbors to the north, they're able to source from around the globe. They can buy from Korea or Romania or whoever's making boats.
So why don't we do that?
Federal law prohibits that. The Jones Act says we have to buy from U.S. shipbuilders. And in fact, the Congress has recently strengthened that prohibition to make it even tougher to build components out of the country. And I'm not here to argue that, we shouldn't have a strong American shipbuilding industry. I'm on board with that, but it does mean that we have to pay higher dollar amounts. And it's part of why we moved away from strictly building in Washington, because the narrower you make the pool.
I guess I should be glad we at least opened that market up.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're getting a lot of flack for that, because of course we want our Washington shipbuilders to be strong. But at the end of the day, taxpayers have to foot the bill. And if we layer cost after cost after the cost on top of it, that becomes a burden. On these new vessels, the lifetime fuel savings more than dwarf the cost of adding the batteries at the front end. So that's why I think it still makes sense to move forward with the hybrids. They are going to save us money on operating costs in the long term. That's the win-win there. But these vessels are expensive. And the thing I've learned is they were always cheaper yesterday. We just have to get building. If we wait another year or 2 years or 3 years, every year the costs go up. We just need to get to work, and that's why I'm glad we're moving.
That is one of the shames, is when you look back on the years and years where they could see down the road, or across the bay, or whatever the better analogy would be, that we were going to need these boats, and they failed to take action. I do feel like it would have been nice if Governor Inslee, in his time in office, would have gotten to this before he took off. And I know that he was wanting it to be green and as healthy as it can possibly be.
So you're saying he should have stayed for 4 more years? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying I wish he would have quit earlier.
I mean, at the highest level, these boats last about 60 years. We need 20 of them. Jake, you don't have to be a math whiz to figure out 60 years, 20 boats. That means every 3 years, we should have a new boat coming and rotating the oldest one out. We went about 10 years with no vessels from 2012 to 2008 to 2018 without adding substantial new vessels.
Very short-sighted for sure.
Break, like, that's the problem. Every third year, a new vessel should be arriving. We're moving back to that schedule now. But that's part of what's caused this problem. We're pouring tons of money into some old vessels to string them along for another year or two. Like, we should not have 60-year-old vessels and try and get 63 years out of them. It's just throwing good money after that, but that's what we face right now.
Are you confident, though, that they won't have the issues that the Wenatchee is already seeing? Like, when they get the new boats in, they have not yet built the charging stations for those. Another question that I would have, I mean, I know you mentioned the fuel savings over the lifetime, which I understand and I believe. It's an incredible cost to start off with, but I understand the argument for the fuel savings. If you get an electric car, eventually you have to have that power plant replaced. We were recently talking about school buses, electric school buses, which are incredibly expensive versus traditional diesel school buses. And the thing about electric school buses that I discovered while we were looking into it was those batteries sometimes have to be replaced after 8 years. Now, that's a lot of money that goes into that, and that's not generally factored into when people are saying, oh, the fuel savings is going to be so great. Are we going to see something similar on these ferries? Are they going to have to replace those batteries? And what's that cost going to be?
Every one of our vessels, because they're in continuous operation, like that's what's happened to the Wenatchee now. Even though it has diesel engines, we have to completely rebuild those diesel engines at the midpoint of their life. So we are taking out the engines that were installed in the 90s and putting brand new engines in, because these engines just don't last for 60 years. So that kind of substantial maintenance will have to happen on these vessels and others. As we did the cost benefit analysis, we did weigh, when, and I don't remember off the top of my head when those batteries have to be replaced on the hybrids. We can track that down, but that was factored into the cost benefit analysis. And I will just say, the ferry system every year, 19 million gallons of diesel. So when we talk about diesel savings, like, it is incredible. It's one of the largest cost centers in ferries is to pay for the fuel. So I don't want to, minimize the savings on diesel. Like, this is a huge cost for us. If we can reduce that on these hybrids, they think 75 to 90%. If there's bad weather, they may have to be operating on the diesel engines more. So it depends on weather conditions, but 75 to 90%, I mean, that's taking if we can do that fleet wide, that's taking that 19 million down to a few million gallons a year. That's where we get real substantial savings across time.
You guys have a Costco card? Because I know they're local. They could put a diesel's outlet right there at the dock.
Costco would do it too.
Right? We're talking to Senator Mark O'Leas, my own 21st District representative. I know you're head of the Senate Transportation Committee, the chair. Do you just do ferries? Because I know you live, up in Edmonds with us. But can we speak to the Sound Transit for a second?
He doesn't want to talk about Sound Transit.
We can a little bit. I'm not on the Sound Transit board.
Okay, fair. I don't want to. Yeah,
he seems like a nice guy. Let's not pin that on him.
I have opinions, so I'm happy to share my opinion.
Is your opinion that the cost is ridiculous? Can you agree with us on that?
Is it the shaft Everett and Tacoma, or the shaft West Seattle? Who gets the short shift here?
I think in 1996, voters voted to go to Everett and Tacoma, so they need to get that done first. And we've built a Painfield Airport based on the idea that light rail will get to it. Like, they need to meet the promises that were made to those of us that voted on it. Now, I wasn't even 18 in 1996, so I didn't vote on it. But the people that voted in Everett back then deserve it. I think the things that have been added since, and Ballard and West Seattle have a ton of merits, but those were added later on to the plan.
Yeah, get rid of
We got to finish the spine, get that done first. And our county executive from Snohomish County, Dave Summers, is chairing the Sound Transit Board this year, and I've heard him say the exact same thing. We got to finish the spine. That's the original promise that was made. I'm confident that they're going to navigate to get us what we've been promised on the time frame.
Are you concerned with their recent ask of? I don't even know if it was an ask, to be honest. I think they just said, "Give us your money."
So we need
the $35 billion
my wife asks
that they've
for
now
money.
tacked onto that. Doesn't that just? Can you please, for our audience, express as a normal person would, when you hear that figure, don't you just go, "Ugh"? Gross.
It makes me think of Dr. Evil, which is like, $1 million. I mean, the challenge with it is it's like across 30 years. So it's like, that's how this stuff gets so complicated. Like, we're talking about $2050, which, I hope we're all here in 2050.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'll cost by the time we get to it. The key to me is like, how do they get the transit service delivered that they promised? And let's figure that out. They've got to make some tough choices. They can't meet everybody's expectations of it on the time frames. I think they've got to get what they promised back in 1996 done, and then get to the promises they've made since then.
This is going to be controversial, but I think they should just go, we're done. Stop now. Stop spending my money. It's a lot of money they've spent. $185 billion is insane. All right, Senator Mark Elias, thank you so much for coming on with us. We appreciate you making the time. Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, so good to see you.
All right,
Likewise.
We'll be in touch again. All right, we have a lot more coming up next. What are we going to talk about next, Spike?
I have to turn my mic back on. We could talk about a couple things. We got to, has it been effective, the campaign to get an enhanced license? Are people still hoping they just get by without one? Whatever you like to.
There's a ton of great stuff.
Yeah.
A ton of great stuff. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here.
And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms.
Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused. But for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
At Olympic Hot Tub's Final Fair Savings Event, get a great deal on a saltwater hot tub and 5 years to pay for it interest-free. Enjoy the healing water of a hot spring spa from Olympic. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Jimmy Kimmel's fate at ABC is up in the air after the network indefinitely suspended the late-night host over his comments about the murder of Charlie Kirk. CBS's Gwen Baumgartner has more from Los Angeles.
Thursday, President Trump dismissed free speech concerns and celebrated Kimmel's suspension.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
On Capitol Hill, several Democratic lawmakers said they do see a threat to free speech.
Kimmel's contract with ABC is up in May of next year. The Everett City Council has passed a resolution calling Kroger's decision to close a South Everett Fred Meyer corporate neglect. Company says theft is a big reason for the closure. Everett Mayor Cassie Franklin says city leaders bolstered security after Kroger raised concerns.
Kind of felt like a slap in the face for their efforts and the incredible work that police and community development put forward to protect the store when they asked for that partnership. 5
other Kroger-owned stores in the region are also closing. The longtime Fred Meyer on Pacific Avenue in Tacoma officially shut its doors yesterday. New survey finds Seattle-Tacoma International Airport is struggling with customer satisfaction.
A new J.D. Power survey ranks SEA 17th out of 20 mega airports in North America. Only Charlotte Douglas International, Toronto Pearson International, and Newark Liberty International airports scored lower. The study, based on feedback from 30,000 travelers, highlights SEA's ongoing issues with overcapacity, despite praise for flight timeliness and overall service. It's the 8th straight year SEA has landed below average. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
We now know when Revive I-5 is returning to the Ship Canal Bridge, this time in the southbound direction. WashDOT announced 6 upcoming weekends of construction, reducing the bridge to just 2 lanes. The work will be spread out over the months of October, November, and December. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk and looking at the map, some elevated travel times as we approach the afternoon rush. 50 minutes up into Everett from Seattle or Bellevue. Right now, 1 hour from Renton to Puyallup. Pretty thick now between Auburn and Sumner. Bellevue to Renton is heavy through the S-curves. That is a 32-minute drive. Tacoma to Olympia, 48. And Linwood to Seattle approaching 1 hour now. They'll hit the brakes right around Shoreline and again once you reach the University Districts. This report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio. Forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly clear skies with a few clouds later on tonight. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid 70s. Right now 70 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We were just talking with State Senator Marco Elias about ferry system, transportation, spending, all of that stuff. It was great to have him. We're very grateful. It's nice to have conversations with folks. That's a good thing. Let's have this conversation right now, Spike. Did you see the story about what Sound Transit is attempting to do? It's an unbelievable plan. Unbelievable. And I think it's so smart and insightful. And we were just saying right before the break, we said, hey, you know what? These guys are telling us that they need $35 billion. They have it's going to be $185 billion before this Sound Transit system is finished. At least ST3 of Sound Transit is finished. And how are you going to make up all that money if you need $35 billion? Where's it going to come from? And they have a solution. And the solution is brilliant. They're going to start making people pay to ride the train.
Yeah, I'd like to take some credit for this. I think this comes coming on the heels of my admission
100%
that I'm a fare dodger.
Yes. A scofflaw.
Scofflaw. A dirtbag by some accounts.
This is so funny to me. So here's what they're deciding to do. It's so desperate.
It's a novel idea.
Things are so bad at Sound Transit. They're so desperate for money that Dow Constantine has said, listen.
What if we charge people?
What if we started charging people to ride this thing? So they're discussing putting up fare gates.
Yeah.
So you think about in New York, you want to ride the subway, you got to go through a turnstile.
By the way, have you seen what they've done to turnstiles in New York City subway lately? It used to
wash them, hopefully.
No, you have a dream, and I love that about you. No, it used to be the hopping over the turnstile was no big deal in New York City subways. They've made these things like prison walls.
They're very tall.
They're impenetrable.
Gotcha.
They're tall. They're sharp.
Are they like those walk-through things? They used to have like the walk-through turnstile
the spinning
exits.
wheels. Yeah, those. Yeah. No, this is the same gate where you pay your fare and the little thing rolls.
Yeah,
you forward.
Go forward.
Just the waist high one. Yes, exactly. But now, leaping over them is an impossibility. So but they haven't washed them. To your point, and I said yesterday when I dodged the fare subconsciously. I knew in the back of my mind I hadn't paid. I'm not going to be a liar to you. I'm going to keep it 100, as she likes to say.
You wouldn't lie.
You know, if there had been a physical barrier to me, I wouldn't have had the option to be in a scofflaw.
Sure.
And it's about time we do this.
It would make sense. I think it would also probably, it would provide somewhat of a barrier for people who didn't pay, and maybe you don't want riding the train.
Right.
There could also be people who are on the train who are just deciding that this is their new home for the day.
I saw, when I saw a fare ambassador and fare enforcement agent yesterday, also saw my first sleeper, my first resident, I'll say, because this guy had all of his earthly belongings with him sleeping on the train yesterday.
He's like the Tom Hanks character on the Christmas train, or where that movie was.
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Yeah.
Except not as interesting. Probably
snow wasn't white.
Yeah, absolutely. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what they're going to do. They're saying at various locations, they're going to propose a pilot project to put in fare gates. I project.
See if making people pay is a good idea. What are they?
Here's just my wild guess.
Sure.
This is going to work for them to start making people pay for this thing.
Yeah.
Let's not forget either. Speaking of payment, Dow Constantine, $37,500 a month. That's how much they pay him to come up with these great ideas. $37,500 a month.
Every month.
$450,000 a year. Yeah. And his big idea is, what if we start charging people for trains?
That's why he makes the big bucks, buddy.
That's why he makes the big bucks. Fare recovering is becoming a big thing. Dave Summers, Snohomish County executive, Marco Elias was just talking about him, says that they are very serious about fare recovery. It's a big issue. They need to really get this thing working. And he says our performance is atrocious in terms of fare recovery. It's really not fair. FAIR, because we're asking car tab payers to pay for transit, and the riders should be paying their fair share also. Now, what do you think Sound Transit told voters? These are always fun games to play. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
We do this fun thing on the show, if you guys are just tuning in, where I ask Spike to take a guess at how much they're actually getting for things, or I might ask him to guess how much something costs, or whatever the thing is. How much a school board?
Sure, yeah.
How much a school budget is?
And I never seem to have any wild. I'm not even close.
And I only know because I've looked it up.
Okay, yeah.
None of us would know these things.
When I think how much is this? I mean, you give them a figure, and it's like tenfold more.
Tenfold more. All right, so factor all that in.
Okay.
So in the early years of Sound Transit, they promised voters that the fares recovered from people riding the trains would be 40% of the train's operating expenses.
Oh,
so
okay.
even going into it, they said, listen, there's no way we're going to actually get this thing to run. Like, imagine this was a business, would fail immediately. But they said because it's a public good and all that stuff, and it's going to be supported primarily by tax dollars, but we're still going to get 40% of the operating costs.
Yeah.
By fares.
That seems reasonable. That's great.
So they said 40%. Which they actually, this is amazing, in 2016, when the light rail opened up between University of Washington and Capitol Hill, they actually got close to that, not quite there, but close to that in 2016.
Oh, great.
Now, when you think about who would ride between the University of Washington and Capitol Hill, that makes complete sense to me because that's the neighborhood you want to go to if you're the age of somebody who goes to UW and you want to go to Capitol Hill, have some fun, have some drinks, get back to UW so that you're there for your classes and all that stuff.
Or vice versa. My kid lived in the Capitol.
Vice versa.
UW. Yeah.
There you go. So that makes total sense. Those are the same crowd, so it makes sense that they would be very using the train. Those number dropped off precipitously, and then they reforecast how much they were hoping to recover at just 20%. They said that was too generous. 40% is crazy.
Okay.
20% is what we're going to do. So what do you think they are now saying that Sound Transit is projecting to recover for operating expenses from fares? Do you want to take a guess?
And now, is this the current system where nobody's asked us to pay?
This is the current system.
Is this?
No. This is what they're hoping they can get.
Okay,
if they start enforcing
they put up gates
Yes.
and make people pay.
So they have this year. They have $4.4 billion budget overall for this year for Sound Transit.
That's an operating budget, not a construction budget.
Operating budget.
Yeah. Okay. And they were hoping for 40 initially. They fell to 20. Can I guess they're going to make 10? Maybe 10% if everybody pays?
What was the rule? You said your own rule.
Oh, tenfold that.
Tenfold.
1%. Please tell me it's not 1%.
So divide it by 10.
Please tell me it's not 1%.
It's 1.4%.
No way. Oh!
What's so funny is you had it. You had the math cracked. You knew it. You knew it, but you want to believe.
I do want to believe.
And I credit you for wanting to
Maybe
believe.
it's the Polar Express reference really made me want to believe. Maybe that's why.
No, it could have been.
No. One, really?
They say their forecast, including capital expenses to build tracks, stations, trains, and buses, Sound Transit fares in the story, are forecast to only cover 1.4% of the budget.
That's. See, I noticed something with that. That 1.4 number really stuck out to me because didn't we have a story when at maximum ridership?
Yeah.
If every seat was full on every train on every run, every time.
It's pretty low.
It'd be 1.4% of the commuting public would be going by train. Right? Was it something like that?
It was somewhere around there. I think that's the number that they're hoping to arrive at.
Right.
But
to get 1.4% of the commuters off the roads and onto light rail.
I think it was somewhere around 1.5. But yes, approximately around 1.4.
If they had sold it to us,
ironic.
If they had sold it to us, we talked with Sully yesterday. If they'd said when we initially voted for this, we can get 1.5% of the people off the roads, and we can pay for 1.4% of the operating costs by people paying fares. We just said, take that rail and shove it back to Iowa.
You're 100% right. Think about that. If somebody had a time machine, number one, you're not taking the train anymore if you have a time machine. Imagine that you have a time machine and you go back.
I'm not paying for the fare on that either.
Because you just go back. You do the lamest things with your time machine. You go back, and instead of going to see Jesus or doing something worthy of your time.
I'm getting a full-size hoagie for $4.
Instead, you go back to 2016 as voters are about to approve this initiative and are about to vote this thing in to approve the funding for Sound Transit ST3 of $54 billion. And you were to tell them, hey, someday this is actually going to cost $185 billion.
Right.
And you're only going to get 1.5% of the people who are going to take this thing, and fare recovery is only going to be 1.4%.
Right.
Do you still want to vote for it? I cannot imagine that it would have passed.
Well, first off, you'd have been locked up as a crazy person screaming at the voters.
Yeah.
Even though you're telling nothing but the truth.
I'm from the future.
I've got facts. Here's the spreadsheet.
Yeah, they'd say, you're nuts.
Yeah.
You're nuts, dude. Crazy times. Crazy times. All right. Well, we got your text messages next, which will be a lot of fun. So stick around. We'll read some of those. We'll be right back.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Folks, the rainy season is on its way. Trust me, I know it looks great outside, but the rainy season is coming. You know it's true. It's time to protect your home now with the help of the folks, the pros at Integrity Roofing and Construction. Years of experience in roofing and restoration, skilled teams, exceptional craftsmanship. Whether it's simple roof repair or a full renovation, Integrity offers free estimates. And their customer satisfaction, of course, speaks for itself. Don't wait until the next storm hits and it's too late. Schedule your free estimate today. Call 206-202-ROOF. That's 206-202-ROOF or online at integrityrc.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
So what'll you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is right around the corner, and you're going to be inundated with advertisements encouraging you to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Do you know someone whose everyday actions make Washington stronger? Someone whose care, service, and connection lift us all. They're Washington's community champions, and WSECU wants to celebrate them this fall. Steve Rabel here. WSECU has been serving Washington since 1957, and they're the only credit union named Forbes' Best Credit Union 5 years running. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your Washington Community Champion today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools to help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com. Having your vehicle serviced is our stress-free promise at Subaru of Puyallup, with convenient service hours from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. Schedule now at SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
All right, welcome back to the show. We just got to get right into these text messages. We've got pages and pages and pages. Thank you guys so much for being part of the show. We really do appreciate it. Laura, jump in.
On bringing back school resource officers, Jody in Mount Vernon says the resource officer in Mount Vernon is a non-commissioned officer, meaning he does not carry a firearm. He's there as a resource, not a threat.
Interesting, Joe.
That is an interesting. I don't think any of them are supposed to be a threat. James in Tacoma says security at schools is important. The key is to have cops that want to be friendly and protect the kids instead of cops who are looking for minor offenses to arrest kids for arrest kids for minor offense to arrest kids for. Nice, see what you did there. Lots of minority kids don't trust police because, in their experience, in their neighborhoods, cops aren't always looking to protect. So they tend to think that cops are bad guys. Sort of like how a lot of people see ICE nowadays. Their original mission was good, but it spiraled out of control. Some people don't want any part of them, even if it puts these people in more danger.
James, I disagree with a bunch of that, but we're going to keep moving on here. Mando says, if your kid is afraid of cops, you're not raising them right. Interesting. Thank you, Mando.
Seriously.
I agree.
206 says, I had to text. I'm 68, and when I was in middle school and high school in Seattle, we had officers on campus. They were plainclothed, and everyone knew who they were. And the relationships were very positive, and it was very beneficial. Can't believe we're still having a conversation about this over 50 years later.
Yeah, totally agree.
On Starbucks baristas suing over dress code, speaking of plain clothes, Scott in the 360 says, you can go to Hobby Lobby and buy black T-shirts for under $10. They are not requiring shirts to have Starbucks logos on them, so you can just wear a shirt. What is the big deal? That designer or band shirt you want to wear is likely it costs more.
True, and Starbucks is giving you a couple of shirts, I believe, as part of this requirement. I think probably they're discussing the khakis or the footwear.
It's the footwear.
Yeah, maybe it's the footwear.
Yeah, it's the footwear.
Let's see, Sandy in Fairwoods, violins have worked. LOL. That's funny.
On the guy who jumped the gap at the University Bridge to evade the cops, 360 says, I saw the video. The car was gone long before the cops could have gotten across the bridge. One needs to ask if it's worth destroying the frame on a $100,000 cop car.
No, yes, and I don't think it was, which is probably why the cop decided not to do it. Although, I guarantee you there was a small part of him inside that said, oh, this would be fun. Yes. I have kind of a half excuse to jump it, but he did not. Yeah. On Jimmy Kimmel's suspension after his Charlie Kirk monologue, Arthur and Kent says, Spike, that was a little brutal. Do you want me to find anything wrong with Jake's outfit? Oh, funny.
No.
Arthur, thank you very much. Touche, Arthur.
Jake looks great. Mark D. in Lake Stevens says, I disagree with Kimmel, but hate that he was don't let the market determine if he deserves a platform. Cancel culture is objectable from either side.
Here, I have had a thought on this. This is my honest thought on this. I don't think this is cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
If it were cancel culture to me was somebody going back 10 years and finding something horrible that you said and holding you accountable for it now. We saw this tons of times during the cancel culture thing.
Every direction, yep.
Students, young people who were posting things when they were young, and it would ruin their lives. That was ridiculous.
Kevin Hart lost a chance to host the Oscars.
Yes, because it was like
10 years earlier.
10 years earlier. These are ridiculous things.
Right.
I do think there is a obviously we have a genuine disagreement on why he left, but I do think people have a genuine feeling that his monologue crossed a line, and that's my feeling on it, at least. All right. Sue in 206 says, thank you, Jake and Spike, for your civility and disagreement. It seems to me this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing is a distraction from Trump's inappropriate redirection to the construction when asked how he was doing. If I'm not wrong, I believe Kimmel played that clip as well. Yes, he did. Yeah, that was included in it.
That's just that's an old guy. He's proud of his new ballroom.
He loves that new ballroom.
He's a builder.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hee-Haw Aaron says, the only good information I got from watching Jimmy Kimmel a few years ago was when he got a colonoscopy live on TV. Other than that, the whole show turned into a political mess. I stopped watching like 5-6 years ago. He's funny, but it's all too political now. And that's not what I want to fall asleep to.
Interesting.
Most doctors would agree.
On black market bear parts. I'll end on this one real fast.
So you got a buyer? You got a seller?
360, Ording Roy says, when I was a Boy Scout on the East Coast about 60 years ago, you could actually buy bear meat in the grocery store. Seriously, it was labeled bear butt. It's funny. We should look into that.
That's the best part.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Tomorrow's Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tune back in for that. We got to go right now, but John Curley's coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO Newsradio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Are you happy with how you're feeling these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Hi, everyone. Gina Bellich here with the Legal Help Center.
And we have a special guest with us today, Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis. So Vernon, tell all of our radio listeners who should call right now.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me join you here in the studio. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much money you could potentially get.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much money you could potentially get. Call 800-948-5880. That's 800-948-5880. 800-948-5880. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio.